So today we're going to make a little video on flying lead changes. Hopefully give you guys some tips and tricks and pointers on how to accomplish a flying lead change. Practicing with flying lead changes, there's a million ways to get a flying lead change, and there's a million ways to get flying lead changes wrong. And I don't have one set way that I train flying lead changes. It kind of varies depending on the horse and kind of what I'm doing, but there's lots of ways to do it. I think a secret for me, and something that I want you guys to really understand, is don't get frustrated. Don't give up. If your horse does something wrong, don't massacre him, don't crucify him. I'll show you some things you can do, but don't get frustrated or upset. They're just as frustrated with us as we are with them. So cut them some slack. Before we dive into the flying lead changes, I want you all to understand that your leads come from your horse's hips. If my horse's hip is going to the right like that, then that's going to set me up for the right lead change. If I can slide my left or my right leg back and I get my horse's hips to the left, then that's setting me up for my left lead. I want you guys to get your hip refinement to the point where you can just slide a leg back and your horse moves their hips. You can slide a leg back and your horse moves their hips. So I want you to get your horse's hips very loosey-goosey. So wherever you apply a leg, they say, hey, I'm going to move my hip. I'm going to move my hip. Some things that I look for when I am getting a horse ready for flying lead changes is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to ride back up to you guys. So some things that I'm looking for here is even on a straight line, I have to be pretty dang sure I'm going to get my leads. So I'm going to be getting my right lead coming out of here. So what I'm going to do, and I don't do this all the time, but I'm going to ask her to get soft in my hands. I'm going to slide my left leg back, ask for those hips, and I'm going to get my right lead. A lot of times I don't ask my horses to be that collected when I ask for my leads, and generally when I'm riding, but it's not a bad habit to get into every now and then. So now I'm going to swing her hips to the left, and that's going to be my left lead. So I have to be pretty stinking confirmed in my leads and at least know what lead I'm in before I can ask for a lead change. So you want your right lead and your left lead when you ask for it. Not when the horse wants to give it to you, but when you ask for it. Another thing that I look for before I start asking for these lead changes is, can I be standing here like this? Hips to the right. Can I get my flexion, the nose flexion to the right? Shoulders to the left. She's sitting there saying, hey, I know how to do flying lead changes. Why are you messing with me? So I'm going to tip her nose to the right, her shoulders to the left, my right leg back, and ask her for that flexion. So her nose is tipped in the direction of travel, her hips are in the direction of travel, and then I execute my canter depart. So something else I look for before I ask my horse to start working on flying lead changes, and I don't wait for everything to be perfect before I start asking for flying lead changes. That's just the way that I am. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my horse to tip her nose to the right. I'm going to slide my left leg back, which will cause her hips to go to the right. And sometimes what happens when you ask for that nose to go to the right, their shoulders will go to the right. But that's what my right leg will do. I'll come in and say, don't move those shoulders, but give me your nose and your hips. And then I'll ask for that right lead depart. So there's my nose, there's my left leg back, and then there's my right lead. And I do that going both directions. So even for that left lead, nose left, right leg back. If she throws that nose in the air, she knows better than that. So I'm going to ask her to kind of bridle up for me a little bit. Left lead. I generally don't worry too much about the horse's headset through a lot of this stuff, because over time they're going to put that head where they need it to be anyways. And if I draw a whole bunch of attention to that head, then I'm going to jack up a lot of the other stuff that I'm working on. So So now I'm going to pick up a canter. Actually, let me teach you one more thing to help you with flying lead changes, and that's your side pass. I just did a video the other day where I talked about side passing over poles. This is the shape of my horse when I'm on a right lead, okay? Nose tipped in the direction of travel, hips kicked out into the direction of travel, and that will give me the right lead. So another thing that I can do, I come down here and ride towards you again, is I can ride towards you, leg yield to the left. That's my right lead position right there. Get my right lead and ride on. Vice versa. I'll come down here and trot at you. I can leg yield to the right. That's setting me up for my left lead depart every single time, because my horse's flexion is shaped up in the direction of travel and setting them up for those lead changes. So I'm giving you several different tips and techniques that you can look for and hopefully try on your horses. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to canter a circle on the right lead. X is the middle of the arena. When I get to X, I'm going to start side passing, so I'll be on the right lead. I'm going to start side passing, and then I'm going to ask for the left lead. That's all going to make sense when I get riding because I'm lost riding. Come down here, pick up the right lead. I'll just ride a circle down here. Now, just for point of reference, this will be my X, right here. This is X. So I'm on the right lead, approaching X. I will do this at the canter, but when I start to get here, I'm going to actually leg yield to my right, get her in that left lead position, and then I'm going to take my left leg off. My right leg's going to go back. My focus is going to be up to the left. And then I'm going to execute my lead change. So my right leg's going to be back. My left leg's going to come off. It's up and to the left as I bring on my right leg and maybe a little bit of right breath to ask for that lead change from the right to the left. So let's see if we can do that. Let's pick up that right lead. Canter around. We'll come up here, approaching X, leg yield to the right, change. She's a bit cantankerous this morning, sometimes that's what you get. So we're coming back here on the left lead. I'm going to start leg yielding to the left, change. So we're on that right lead. We're coming up to X. I'm going to focus up and to the left. Little leg yield. Now what she's doing is she's kind of going up and elevating in those lead changes. So I'm going to ask her forward just a little bit more. Kind of get a little bit more flying out of it. That's much better. So sometimes you need to add a little bit of forward to say, hey, let's get going forward. They call it flying lead change for a reason. That's better. So it's moments like that where don't get frustrated. Just say, hey, they're going up. I want to go out further. Ignore it. Drive them on. Say, hey, let's get that flying part and that flying lead change. Let's get that motion going forward more.